back for another episode of Trailer Trash Talk's Hurricane League Fantasy Talk. As always, I'm your host, Lil Stank, and here with me, my co-host, Leatherhat Guy.
What's happening, y'all?
Alright, now, first off, let's make sure we're speaking up because we're having to move back to this mic because of the debacle last time we recorded. So let's make sure we're projecting. Alright,
Yes, the technical difficulties we dealt with, mainly because I believe I verbally roasted you 3 times, destroyed the footage, whatever. We're trying again.
You did accost me once, yes, and I am professional enough to have let that go by, but...
Accosted with facts, I believe.
I don't know. Anyway,
on.
To start off, we're going to wrap up the 2020 season by doing something that I've been meaning to do, and I lost this little motherfucker. Here is Justin's well-earned shit bowl trophy for this past season. We have to make sure we display this prominently in your house, okay? I want that to be the centerpiece of the wall of shit that you have, just somewhere in your lovely abode.
Alright. Speech. I would like to graciously accept this and extend my thanks to Brain, without whom this would not be happening. Eat shit and die, man.
Well, fair, and we're going to get into this a little bit later in this episode, but you also had one of the most colossal collapses ever to even end up in the shit bowl. You can't blame that one on Brain. Sorry, Brian. You can't. I mean, you should have been in the playoffs had you not shit the bed in week 13.
Yeah.
And who did you lose to in week 13?
Man, you know I don't. I'm assuming.
Well, let's check the tape because I do happen to have this all pulled up in the background here. Let's see, scoreboard. Come on, bitch. Right. Yeah. Come on. Alright, well this is taking longer than it should. You played Blake in week 13. So he not only beat your ass in week 13 to send you into the shit bracket of the playoffs, which I believe Mitchell had told you was impossible at that point. But he also whooped your ass in the shit bowl and gave you what we have now. In addition to this, I did record a new ringtone for Justin because of said audio issues. You'll just have to wait to hear that until we get to the draft. Speaking of which, we do need to, I think somebody had suggested maybe hosting the draft. I think that was Dusty. What are you smirking at, smartass?
Nothing, just thinking that... Well, God damn it, Blake, stop getting your stank on me!
So I think Dusty had proposed hosting the draft. I mean, we could potentially do that. I was considering hosting the draft here because I think we've had a little tradition of the, champions doing that. But we'll see. We've got plenty of time. What is it? It's only August. I mean, we've got like 30-something days. I mean, that's plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Let's be honest. We're not going to do anything for at least 2.5 weeks.
I would say it's probably going to be a little bit past that, but
I was being generous, but you're right. I mean, we know us.
So yeah, like I said, we've got a couple, and Brian did bring the possibility of him possibly hosting again. I always enjoy the shindigs at Brian's house. I'm shocked that you and your lovely wife are allowing us to potentially come back yet again. I still feel bad because I was in Brian's house super shit-faced when his wife walked in from wherever she had been, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. I really wasn't. I just knew I was too drunk to be in her house, and she seems like a nice lady, and I was too drunk to be around a nice person at that time. So as soon as she came in, I just started apologizing profusely. And yeah, again, I'm surprised that we're even potentially invited back there. But I'd be open to that one too. So anyway, the other thing we need to look at is discussing potential rule changes for this upcoming season. Brian had asked about, the potential payouts or yearly fees. I wasn't in favor of that, and I'm going to circle back to that because the other thing that we are looking at relates directly to you, which is the penalizing of dropping players once your team is in all reasonable senses out of it. So there's not a clean way that I could think of to penalize that. The best thing, we had discussed this, I think, after the last failed attempt at recording a show. If we had the last 4 weeks, the playoffs of the season, if we counted the point total from that playoff time period and then had a payout to the winner or the first and second place of those point totals in that 4-week period, that should effectively prevent what we had this past season, which was potential sabotage, maybe a mistake. I mean, depending on what story you go by. I'm not going to call Brian a liar. I think he is potentially a man of character, especially when he is inviting us back to his house and buying more foods. So, but so I feel like that's a potential fix to that. We take a $15, $20 league due at the beginning of the year, and that goes to the point total winner or the top 2 point total winners for the playoffs. So just a thought, So yeah, any ideas, anything like that, reaction, suggestion, we can always post it on the comments or in the group text. And I guess what we might do to end up this first off-season episode is to do an upcoming season preview. We'll go ahead and do 2 teams at a time. First team we're going to preview is the team that finished 8th last season. The champion or loser of the Shit Bowl. Mr. Justin here. So you finished 8th with a record of 7-6, and let me see if it's possible I can get your point total, because I actually think you were fairly respectable as far as your point totals and everything like that. I guess this is this upcoming season. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't have a terrible season. As you said, and I'll accept, I shit the bed rather gratuitously of like week 13 on.
Well, if I recall correctly, you started off the year with a win against me and then kind of shit the bed the next several weeks, which kind of put you in the position where you were at the end of the year.
Yeah, but I rallied. And then
did you?
Blake happened.
Did you rally? You rallied right into the shit bracket. So our outlook for what would you say your outlook is for this team for this upcoming season? Your non-biased outlook. Looking at the ownership, history of the ownership, I think we ran through that history the other night.
Yeah, some of those statistics were rather shocking and surprising, and some of them not so much. Had a little bit of vindication from some of my records. Oh, I'm gonna aim high. I think I'm gonna come in 4.
So you're going to make the playoffs?
I'm gonna make the playoffs.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, what's your record going to be at the end of the year?
Let's see. I want to give myself an 8-4.
In so many ways, that's wrong. Throughout history, there have been 13-week regular seasons, and we're potentially looking at a 14-week this.
8-5, 8-6.
I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do that because there will be an 18th week this year, a 17th NFL game each team will play. My guess is that they're just going to add in an extra regular season game, but that may be available somewhere. It's already out. We just haven't looked to see because we're not that diligent in our research. Anything else you can think we need to add to this episode of Trailer Trash Talk, Hurricane League Fantasy Talk?
Oh. Again, we're not that diligent. I'm unprepared. I got nothing right now.
Nothing right now. Well, spoken like a true professional. Well, I want to thank you for joining us. Hope you all have a great day and you're enjoying the off season, and a hearty suck my dick. Quick follow-up. Totally forgot to do a breakdown on Blake's team. He finished last year. Fuck, where is my clipboard? Oh, good. I just double-checked to make sure the volume was on, and it has been. That whole time was not a waste so far. I'm glad I checked that. Motherfucker. Did you see what I did with the clipboard?
Not in the slightest. I mean, I can say that obviously, Blake, you did marginally less awful than I did, seeing as how you did not get tortured, which, again, you guys torture almost as badly as I play fantasy football.
Yeah, well, I heard your taint was bleeding afterwards, so, you know, let's not try and undersell it there.
Wrong a little bit. Again, amateur hour. I can't believe y'all didn't go for the inner thigh. I'd have screamed like hell.
Yeah. So Blake ended the season at 5-8. He also finished 7th, one spot above you, despite being 2 games worse in record. He saved his season. He did the exact opposite of you. He had a shitty year. He was 4-8 going into the final week. He was guaranteed to go to the playoffs, or the shit playoffs, and he was almost guaranteed to have a spot in the shit bowl. But luckily enough, he ran into Justin. And luckily enough, well, I guess, again, you place some blame on Brian. Maybe Brian played a factor. We'll never know.
We do know for a fact, because we crunched those numbers, without Ezekiel Elliott on his team, there was no way for Blake to beat me.
It's potential he would have made the diamond in the rough pickup each of those final 2 weeks from waivers. That would have been the missing piece. Now, knowing his record as far as waiver additions, that's not likely, but stranger things have happened. We are talking about a back-to-back shit bowl, or a back-to-back champion, rather. I think he's also a back-to-back shit bowl champion, so that shows you the volatility we're dealing with here. With that being said, he finished this year 5-8. I'm going to give him some credit. Say next year he's going to finish 7-7. He's going to start off strong in the draft. He's going to have a good first round pick, solid second rounder. Third round he's going to draft fucking Gronk, you know. Then he'll get a...
Blake, Breeze retired. Courtesy announcement to the rest of you guys.
So then he'll go ahead and draft the Seattle D in the 5th round. So it's going to be a shit show of a draft as normal, but he does have in some years, he gets lucky with some of these pickups, and, you know, he salvages his season. So that's what I'm expecting this year, a 7-7 performance, an improvement from last year. I'm on your side, Blake. Once again, we thank you for watching. We love you all. Suck my dick.